All right, good morning. We're here today with our next edition of the Works with DW Spectrum webinar series. And today we're lucky enough to be joined by Mr. Paul Sun with iRONYUN, who has a AI converged analytics platform that works with DW Spectrum. Paul, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
All right. Hello, thanks for joining us. So why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about iRONYUN and your products.
Yes, thank you, Patrick, for the introduction. I'm Paul Sun, president for iRONYUN, and today we would like to share with you some of the really exciting artificial intelligence analytics that is integrated into the Spectrum VMS. Welcome, everybody, and please type in your questions, and later on, Patrick will do a Q&A session at the end. So joining me is my colleague Alison Pratt. She'll be doing the integration, show you how this analytics are integrated into the Spectrum VMS. A little background on the company. iRONYUN was started really pioneering the artificial intelligence in the field of physical security. So we started over 5 years ago, and companies headquartered in Stamford, Connecticut. And over the years, we have really pioneered the analytics using deep learning technology. Today, our software is used in over 30 countries, mostly in critical infrastructure projects, from smart cities, law enforcement, police department, federal government agencies, to enterprises, corporations, casinos, banks. It's a really pretty robust, complete platform for all of the commonly needed analytics for surveillance and safety. So, the company has quite a few IP patents in the field. So, what are the analytics and what's unique about iRONYUN? So, the platform, the reason we call it a converged platform is it's really aggregates over 15 different type of analytics, be it forensic applications or real-time alert analytics. And the type of analytics is from object search, vehicle, person, face, backpack, weapons, cell phones, to face search, to vehicle counting, people counting, all sorts of statistical information that can be captured by a video surveillance camera, to tracking of a vehicle in real time in a city, to real-time applications of access control with face recognition or intrusion detection. These are highly accurate, very, very low false alarms compared to tripwires, traditional video analytics, to AI-based license plate recognition, to weapon detection for active shooter applications. And also over the next month, we'll be rolling out our COVID-19 PPE type applications. So, for example, person without a face mask, person that's not keeping a distance in a checkout line. So all of those type of analytics are in a single, fully integrated platform, shrink wrap, plug and play, ready to go. And that is the advantage of the platform-based solution. So it's not a single point product that requires a lot of customization or integration for it to work. And this is very different compared to existing analytics system where they consist of individual components rather than a fully well thought out platform that can be deployed in less than an hour. The analytics that iRONYUN has pioneered is now well in its 4th generation. And unlike a lot of existing solution providers that just starting out in the AI deep learning field, the company has already climbed the learning curve, has done many large-scale deployments, learning through the real-world situation and how the system get deployed, how it's being used. So the software is really mature now and fully characterized, battle tested, and each of the engine is tuned to its unique application requirements. The key benefit is with the AI technology. In the past, the video analytics industry has been plagued by having too many false alarms, and that has been dramatically improved over the years. And the benefits of integrating iRONYUN video analytics with the Spectrum is it alleviates a lot of the time it takes to identify a particular event, searching for objects, and the convenience with integrating into Spectrum it's really one of the most complete, easy to use analytics with one of the top VMS in the industry. And the software is hardware agnostic, so it works with most of the IP Honor comparable cameras. The type of integration that we're working with Digital Watchdog and integrating the Spectrum is we will start with the video search of searching for objects. Our integration, the first step is to integrate all the intrusion alarms into Spectrum, and the alerts will be sent through HTTP through Spectrum, and from the Spectrum you can forward that alert to an email system, to a smartphone, to a PC device, all through Spectrum. And this avoid an operator and user to have to go through another user interface. So the plan is for us to continuously do integration with Spectrum as iRONYUN add more and more analytics. So this year, over the past 6 months, we have added 4 new analytics, including vehicle make, model. As I indicated earlier, that will be rolling out the COVID-19 body temperature measurement, a face mask detection. All of this will be gradually added into the Spectrum integration as we continue work on this long-term partnership with Digital Watchdog. So I'd like to take time to show you the product, and later on Elson would show the integration part of it. Similar to Spectrum, that the user interface is fairly simple. All you need is a browser. In this case, I'm using a Google Chrome browser connected to an AI appliance. And this system that I'm showing you right now is a live system that is running over 15 different type of analytics. Search is all sorts of object search that I'll show you in shortly, to face recognition, face search, to license plate recognition, people counting, vehicle counting, intrusion, highly accurate, no false alarm intrusion analytics, to abnormal events. And there are many different type of abnormal events built right into the software. For example, loitering at a bank lobby, you can set alarms for that. Illegal parking on a street corner, to wrong direction in a smart city application, be it the person going in against the crowd in a wrong direction, or vehicle going into a particular one-way street that's in the wrong direction. All of those abnormal events are built right into a system, also including camera health management. So for example, if a camera is out of focus, or if it's out of position, or lost connectivity, all of those abnormal events can be triggered and set by the operator. So on this particular platform that I'm showing you has live surveillance camera connected from all over the world. So for example, here is a camera in London, UK, to Chicago Cubs Wrigley baseball stadium, to cameras in Detroit, Dublin, Ireland, to several of our corporate headquarters cameras, to cameras in French Quarter and New Orleans, to Times Square. So what I'm showing you here is real live situational surveillance type application. So let's say that if I were to search for a vehicle, a law enforcement type application, and I selected a vehicle, and I want to very quickly identify all of the cars that's been captured by the surveillance camera. And this starts from today at 00 hours midnight to now. So it's over 14 hours of video. And it's searched across the entire spectrum of camera. This consists of over 12 cameras. So you're looking at over 250 hours of video that this AI analytics searched through in less than 12 seconds, or to be exact, 11.2 seconds, went through those 250 hours of video and returned 307,000 instances. Every one of them, every one of this image, you'll see it. There's a vehicle get identified. So, for example, this is a live surveillance camera outside Times Square, pointing at the Times Square in New York City, and you will see the vehicles identified on the left-hand side. And if you look at the time stamp here, this is 2:23, and this literally happened 30 seconds ago. Okay, and similar to, we call this the Google search of video analytics. And just like we use Google for text search to search for information on World Wide Web, the same application can be used for video. So you will find things filtered down by selecting the object types. So for example, it's not just searching for bicycle, motorcycle, car, bus, or whatnot. The system allows you to drill down into very detailed search functions. So for example, the system has built-in identification recognition of over 200 vehicle make, from Toyota, Honda, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche. This is one of the most complete vehicle analytics on the market today. So let's say if I want to be very specific on my targeted search of a BMW and an SUV, let's say an X5. The system has over 2,000 vehicle models also built in that a user can search through. So let's say I want to filter down the results to only BMW and X5, and I selected those models, and this is the speed and performance of our software in less than 1.3 seconds. Went through that 300 plus thousand images and returned 78. That's only BMW and X5. So here's an image, and you see that it's a BMW SUV. So these are the capability of identifying an object, and we would like to call the system similar to finding a needle in a haystack. So we have many police departments using this to very rapidly identify, to turn those video into actionable intelligence. So a use case would be, so for example, let's say there's a hit and run incident, a victim called into 911 and say there was a BMW a particular model X5, and you can also input partial plate numbers. So let's say if it's a partial plate number of 555, and you can search through it. Now, instead of going through hundreds of thousands of vehicle instances, now you'll drill down to exactly only two instances that has a BMW and a partial plate number 555 identified. And you notice that this is just a standard IP camera, a 2 megapixel camera, and today's AI license plate are really powerful. That it's no longer limited to specialized license plate camera. This is just standard, normal cameras that you can do very advanced artificial intelligence search. So the same thing you can do. You can do many other different type of objects. You can search for. You can do combinations with it. So let's say you want to search for a person on a bicycle that has a backpack, and there's extended objects. We have one of the most extensive type of objects, from weapons to backpack to cell phones, smoke fire detection. So let's say I want to search for a person on a bicycle with a backpack, and this is all, you can perform all of this in real time. And this is a live camera right outside Times Square, and you see a person, a backpack on a bicycle. So these are the various analytics, from object search to face recognition to license plate recognition to people counting, vehicle counting, intrusion. And this is this type of analytics really frees up the operator, the user, to really work on truly relevant alerts or functions, instead of having to go through video files on a manual basis. Okay. I would like to now show you have Alison show us the integration with Spectrum, and I'm going to hand this off to Alison for the second part of the demonstration.
Okay, so in order to send alerts from AMVR to Digital Watchdog, you first want to make sure all your cameras are set up with every analytic you'll want. Once you do that, you want to go to the Alert tab right here, and then you want to go to Alert Rule. Once you're here, you want to add a new alert, and I'm going to show you the alerts already set up. So the first one I set up is for face recognition. So when you add a new alert, you want to give the alert a name, and then you want to click on your analytic type, and this one is for face recognition. I then selected the cameras that I wanted to alert off of, and then I selected the list I want to alert off. So I clicked on our AI team employee list. Once you do that, you want to click on your trigger action. You want to click on your Digital Watchdog trigger action, and then for the IP address, port number, username, and password, you want to add all this of your Digital Watchdog server. Once you have these, you can then move on to these three fields right here. You have your source contains, caption contains, and description contains. In these three fields, you can put any kind of keyword you want, but you do want to make sure they match what you're going to put in your event rules in Digital Watchdog later on. So for my face recognition alert, I said my sources are my iRONYUN cameras, my caption is going to be face alert, and then my description contains is going to be an employee. Once you're done, you want to hit save and then click OK. My next alert is for intrusion. So again, give it a name, select your alert type as intrusion, select the ROIs on the camera you want to alert off of. So I did that for this camera. Once you do that, you want to select your trigger action for your Digital Watchdog, enter your Digital Watchdog server information, and again, so source, caption, description, I did intrusion cameras, intrusion alert, and intruder for this one. Again, hit save and then click OK. Lastly, I set up an LPR alert. So for this one, you want to click your alert type as license plate recognition. Then you want to select the cameras you want to alert off of, and then you want to select your list. So I clicked on not in list, so to alert off any license plate that's not in a list. Then again, select your trigger action. Give it that all the digital Watchdog server information. And then for this one, I did country road as my source. My caption is LPR alert, and my description is license plate. Again, hit save and click OK. Once you are done setting up this, you then want to go to Digital Watchdog. Once you're in here, you want to click over here on this right menu bar, and you want to go to Event Rules. Once in here, you want to add a new event. And I'm going to again show you what I've already created. So we want to create a generic event. And again, the source, caption, and description fields that are the same thing that you put in AMBR alert. If you don't make them exactly the same, this alert will not work. So I did it iRONYUN cameras, my face alert, and employee. Once you enter those fields, you want to click on your action. I like to do bookmark as my action because you get a short little clip of what's going on, but you can do any kind of action you want. Once done, I selected the camera it's alerting off of, and then I clicked OK. After that, you want to make sure you do it for all the other alerts. So then I did a generic event on my intrusion alert, and then again I did a bit bookmark with selecting the camera. And finally, my LPR alert, and then my bookmark. Once you're done with all of these, you want to click OK. And then over here on the right, you can see my alerts have come in. So I have my LPR alert that's alerting me off of my description right here is my license plate off the country road camera. So if I click on this, you'll see right here that the car's pulling out, and you can clearly see its license plate right there. Next, you can see my intrusion alert is telling me my description is an intruder off the country road camera. And you can see there's a person walking through intruding. Finally, I have a face recognition alert at our iRONYUN front door, which is alerting off of our employees. So every time an employee walks in, the door will automatically open for them. You can see her walking right in right there. And that's how simple it is to set up AMBR alerts in Digital Watchdog.
Okay, thank you, Alison. So now we're going to hand it back to Patrick and Paul for Q&As.
Yeah, thank you, Paul and Allison. That was great. Very interesting, and we did get a lot of questions from the group. And kind of start off with, we talked about some of the different types of analytics you have. One of the questions that stood out was, are you able to detect fire with your AI?
Yes, there's analytics that's specially trained to recognize smoke, not just fire, but smoke and fire. So the application will be outdoor wildfire detection, or in manufacturing facility when equipment or assets that accidentally catch fire. So yes, we do have smoke fire analytics.
And so this gets more into the, the different analytic types that you've shown. What's your, let's call it your go-to-market strategy for, are these individual modules licensed by the module? Is it all-inclusive? How does your pricing structure work?
Yes, so the software is licensed based on individual module based. Not every environment requires all of the analytics, so it provides the user, the customers, a lot of flexibility and pick and choose what's analytics that's right for the particular environment. So the system are break out into individual modules. For the basic object, there's over 50 different type of objects of vehicle, vehicle make, model, smoke, fire, weapon detection for active shooter. All of that is in a single bundle that you purchase on a per camera, either one-time license fee or a subscription basis. and you basically pay for the only for the analytics that you need and use.
Okay, great. Is the solution an on-prem solution where you're installing a server and running those analytics side by side with the video recorder, or is it a cloud-based AI?
Very good question. The software is based on Linux Docker container. So what that means is it can run very easily inside a VM virtual machine. So the software can be run entirely 100% behind a firewall on-prem, or it can be run on any of the public cloud, from Amazon to Google Cloud to Microsoft Cloud. Or you can also use it for a hybrid model. Certain part of the analytics you may, or certain in particular branch office, you may want to connect it to the cloud. So give the customers many flexibility of either on-prem, cloud, or hybrid.
Okay, great. So you mentioned in your demonstration you showed where you could analyze lots of different cameras from lots of different locations simultaneously and instantly, and bring back that information from all those different locations. Was there a server at each one of those locations, or was the server was in the cloud in that case? I mean, how does it separate out? I guess, are you able to run it, multiple servers together, or is it a single server that's doing that?
It can be done in both. So the architecture is very flexible that allow for a federated system. So let's say in the scenario of a large Fortune 100 company with 100 branch offices across the US, you can set up an appliance. We work with DW on providing an appliance that can deploy right on the branch office. So that particular branch office video does not need to be sent to the headquarters of the entire video, just the alerted video clip. So this cut down tremendously on the amount of bandwidth requirement, and also reduces the cost of deployment. So that is one application. Or if it's for a single building installation, the software can run on a rack-mounted server. That a single 2U rack-mounted server can support well over 128 cameras in a single box. To support cameras with more than that, the amount of 128, you simply stack the servers up in your server room or in the data center.
Okay, so you can cluster your servers. So really, an iRONYUN server can look at multiple DW Spectrum servers or cameras coming from multiple DW Spectrum NVRs and analyze the video.
Yes.
And then you can also cluster the iRONYUN servers, so you can have multiple servers as well from that standpoint. Great. So the question came up: is internet required for the AI? Sounds like you're flexible, so you can do both on-prem and cloud-based.
That is correct. Yes.
Any kind of documentation as far as the network requirements?
So in terms of internet bandwidth requirement, it's very similar to how any particular system get set up. So you basically have to do a normal engineering of looking at how many cameras and what are the frames per second and the resolution of the camera. Our AI system does not deviate from that kind of best practices. So we simply either pull the stream through an RTSP stream directly from the camera, or we can pull it from a NVR network video recorder. So the AI appliance that we provide our customer is not using any new requirements that will put extra burden on the bandwidth requirement.
Okay. Do you have a calculator or something online that can estimate in terms of the server requirements for running a certain number of analytics?
Yes, we do have a quick user guide calculator based on the number of analytics you require and the storage requirements, the frame rates, and it will provide you with the guidance on what type of system you would need.
Okay, just a couple more that have come in that we're dealing with. Well, let's start with this one. Can iRONYUN search archived video? So in other words, if we connected it to a DW Spectrum system with recorded video already, can it go back and look at the archived video history for objects in terms of that object classification that you were showing, or is it just on the live capture that it would be able to do that?
Yes, there's two modes of application. One is archive, so any video format that's standard compliant, meaning that if it's a .avi file or if you store the video in a standard format and in the Spectrum, the AI software can pull. We have the integration software that will allow the conversion and pull those archive video maybe from a year ago, and you can run through an hour of video from years past, and the software will do automatic tagging of all the metadata object identify, whether it's a vehicle, person, license plate, a face. All of those combination can be done in a forensic mode, and also it can be used for real-time alerting.
Okay, and last question that had come in was about the object classification and doing custom object classification. Is it possible for end users to train for custom object classification, or what's the process to get objects classified in your software?
Very good question. So for new objects that's not in our library set, right now the training of a new object currently requires our expert AI software engineers to do the training. So as we go forward, we will release the training tools for our more advanced user to do their own training. But at this stage, if a customer base has a new object that needs to be recognized, please talk to our sales support team, and we will provide. We'll work with the individual customers to add those objects as we go forward.
Okay, fair enough, understood. Last question? I said that previously, but last question would be, where is your product sold, and how can people purchase your product?
Yes, our products are sold to integrators, and we work with manufacturers rep partners across the U.S. and many of the reference that we use are the same firms that the Digital Watchdog. So talk to your Digital Watchdog sales partner, sales representative, and we'll be glad to provide the quotation and more detailed product information.
Okay. Well, just want to thank you and Allison both for making yourself available today and showing us your technology. We appreciate you being a technology partner with Digital Watchdog and working with DW Spectrum.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Patrick, for the inviting us to speak to the your team on this really exciting integration with Digital Watchdog, and we really look forward to a really successful partnership.
We do too. Thanks, Paul.
All right, thank you all. Bye bye.
Okay. All right, Crossix, you can stop recording.
Okie dokie.